What's up, everybody? Steve here with Creating Real Estate Solutions. This is the Florida Flag, and I want to kind of just educate everybody on the different types of investors, because you have investors who are virtual investors as well as local home buyers like us in the Fort Myers, Southwest Florida area. Now, I think it's vital and very important, if you guys are trying to sell your home off market to a real estate investor, that you guys do sell it to somebody who is local, whether it's with us or another local firm where they're actually going to be boots on the ground, the person that's actually buying it, the person that actually is coming out of pocket with the cash to buy the property, is going to be physically present in your home. Now with us, we have a small team, and there's 4 of us, and it's going to be one of the 4 of us or 2 of the 4 of us that will actually meet with you guys, talk about your specific situation, what your needs are, take a look at the property, and then come up with a fair offer that makes sense for you guys, that also makes sense for us. So unfortunately, we see this time and time again where you have out of area, out of state investors. Some of these guys are national investors where they're just doing mass marketing across the entire United States, and they do everything virtually. They don't know the neighborhoods. They don't know the contractors in the areas, and also they do what's called wholesaling. And now that's not to say that we don't do this as well, but basically what a lot of these virtual investors do is they lock in, tie up your property, and they put an inspection period for your property. During that inspection period, they're going out and they're searching for local investors like us to sell the contract to basically flip the contract to, and then we would close on it, fix it up, and sell it. And unfortunately, what they're doing is they're getting a spread in between. Now, when we wholesale, it's usually partners of ours that are coming in, and we're basically partnering up with different investors that are here locally as well. So you got to be careful with any kind of out-of-state, out-of-area investors. So if you guys do say inquire on an online ad, I suggest when you are speaking to them, ask if they are local, ask who the person actually is, who owns the company, assuming it's an LLC or an incorporated company. Ask if that person who owns the company is going to be present. You could also ask for their documentation, which I encourage as well. So you can find our company, Creating Real Estate Solutions LLC, online on sunbiz.org. Just go into search LLCs, type in our company name, and you're going to see the managing members of the company, which is us. And we're going to be physically present to meet with you guys. So again, I highly encourage you guys to seek out local home buyers in the Fort Myers, Naples, Cape Coral, Lehigh Acres, pretty much anywhere in Lee, Collier, and Charlotte County is where we are purchasing locally. And we don't, at this point in time, we don't go outside of these areas just because simply geographically it's just too far for us to drive to. And we want to make sure that we are having these direct discussions with our home sellers and really finding out how we can help them to the fullest, and also how we can get them the maximum dollar for their property. One last thing that I want to touch on with the being a local home investor is knowing the area. We're educated on a lot of different areas throughout Southwest Florida. And that in turn can provide you guys, in many cases, a higher price, because a lot of these guys that are out of area, they don't know the local area. They don't know the specific neighborhoods. They don't know that maybe your house is next door to a mansion that could bring up the value of their property. Or they don't know that your house might be surrounded by houses that are overgrown and distressed, and it could bring your property value down. And what happens is these out-of-state investors, let's say they get your property into contract, they're searching around for an outside investor or a local investor to come in and buy that contract, as I previously mentioned. But if that local investor like us goes to that property to take a look at it, and there's a lot of dilapidated houses around the area, we can physically see these issues with the property surrounding the area. We can physically see issues with your piece of property as well, where we automatically already take that into account with our offer. And then these other virtual buyers, virtual home buyers or wholesalers, they don't know this information because they're not physically here. So if they overpay for your property, for example, and they get local investors like us to come to the property, and we're like, we can't pay $320,000 for this property because of this, and we report back to them, then they're like, okay, they said that, another local investor said that, another local investor said that, and they're all saying we have to get this property for $280,000. Now, what do you think that they're gonna do coming back to you when they can't sell the contract for $320? They're gonna come back to you during that due diligence period and say, look, we tied up your property, now it's week 3 or whatever the case is, however long they put in the due diligence, and they're going to tie that property up, and they're going to come back to you and say, look, we need to get this property for $260 now. And then they make the spread between $260 and $280 that they would sell it to us for $280, if that makes sense. If anything of this doesn't make sense, feel free to give us a call too. All of our information is down below, and we can talk you guys through it before even taking a look at your property, whatever the case is. But and then you say to that person, look, you said $320, now you're trying to get it for $260, bait and switch, get the heck out of here. And then you just spent 3, 4, 5 weeks with nonsense. You dealt with this nonsense buyer that's not in the area. So selling your property through a local home investor is vital, in my opinion, to get the deal done quickly. In many cases, depending on the property, if the property's in really bad shape, we might put a small due diligence period in there, a small inspection period, just to make sure we can get contractors out there to take a look at the property and making sure that, you know, our calculation for repair and remodel is where it needs to be. But in many cases, we put 0 days due diligence. I did another video that I'll put at the end of this video talking about a property, most recent property that closed in Cape Coral. We put a 0 inspection period because I got a good feel of the property, and we put $10,000 in escrow for if any reason we did not close by the contract date, then that seller would have been entitled to that escrow money. Anyway, if you guys have any questions on any of this, all of our contact information is below. If you want us to take a look at your property, you can go on our website as well, plug in some information about it, and then we'll reach out to you as quickly as possible, set up a time for us to come out, take a look at your property, make you an offer. There's absolutely no obligation to sell the property to us in any sense. At least we can get an offer in your hands. And thanks a lot for watching.